I messed up tonight. I lost another fight. I still mess up, but I'll just start again. I keep falling down. I keep on hitting the ground. I always get enough. See what's next. Birds don't just fly. They fall down and get up. Nobody learns without getting it wrong. I won't give up, no I won't give in till I reach the end and then I'll start again. No I won't leave, I wanna try everything. I wanna try even though I could fail.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Zootopia Minute, the minute-by-minute podcast where we review, criticize, and analyze everybody's favorite hit film of 2016, Zootopia. And we are very pleased to be here for the first ever live episode we've done here at HarmonyCon in Dallas. How are we doing, guys? Hooray for us. Thanks for coming.
Technically, it's Addison, so...
Whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't find that on a map. Anyways, we're going to jump right in here to this wonderful minute. This is minute 77 of the film Zootopia. First of all, some introductions. Get that out of the way. My name is Simul. I am your host, joined as always by my co-host.
Choco, vending at this con, one of the community guests, and co-host of Zootopia Minute. And we're joined here by our special guest.
Nowacking, hello. I speak in the microphone, right?
Yes, you do.
Yes.
Cool. Hello. I'm voice actor. Hello, goodbye.
Which characters is your voice?
Give
Yes, give us some background.
In the horse fandom, I'm known for voicing Vinyl in things, and LittlePip in things. I was on Bronies React. I feel like there's more, but I'm forgetting. I'm so bad at introducing myself. My multiple personalities, my multiple characters. Why are you even letting me talk?
So I guess the only way to convince you to be on this panel is to lure you in with some guacamole. So we've kind of turned this into an unofficial guacamole panel. So after we're talking about the minute, we're going to taste these different types of guacamole. And then at the end of the panel, whoever's left, you guys are welcome to partake in this little display of guacamole here. So
do this like shared communal guacamole.
Yeah, it's communal
coronavirus
guacamole
is going around.
It's fine, we're all bronies.
Yeah. Yes, I was bribed into this panel specifically because of the guacamole.
Yeah, right. Okay, so speaking of the minute, this is minute 77 of the film Zootopia. So for those of you following along at home, this is going to be from timestamp 1:17:00 to 1:17:59, and this minute picks up right where the last one left off. Judy has just resigned from the ZPD in Bellwether's office, following them trying to get her to sort of become the poster child of the ZPD after all this chaos has been ensued following that disaster of a press conference that she went through here. So this minute picks up on Bellwether's line. It's what you wanted since you were a kid. You can't quit. Judy says, thank you for the opportunity. She puts the badge down on the desk. And we have this sad, slow pan onto her badge sitting on the desk as she leaves. Then we have a scene transition, and we are back for the first time since the beginning of the movie, actually, in Bunnyboro, Judy's hometown. And what we see is that she has gone back to her life on the farm, and she is there selling vegetables, selling carrots, seeming a little melancholy. And her parents are there, and they proceed to ask her, hey, what's going on? You seem upset. You are not fine, your ears are droopy. That's a fun line right there. She's sort of reminiscing about how would she be able to make a difference. Her parents try to reassure her, you're a trier. You know, that's what you are, it's part of who you are. And then we end, oh, I tried, I made life not so much worse for innocent predators, oh, not all of them. And then, who pulls up but at the very last moment, what we see on the screen, Gideon Gray, and we end on the line, speak of the devil. Fun stuff. And we'll be going back and forth through this minute as we go. We've got a few screen caps for some details we're going to be looking on in more detail. But first thoughts from anybody?
I just want to say the final line, because we already know there's a furry Jesus in this world. It just confirms there's a furry devil.
Oh yeah, that's true. I like that. Attention to detail.
So what's the devil's Zoosona?
Zoosona, by the way, because we're not furries.
Yeah, we're not furries.
Yeah, speaking for myself, I'm not a furry.
I feel like it's a snake, right?
Yeah, you're right. That would be the obvious choice.
He already has a fursona or a zoo. What is it?
Zoosona.
Zoosona.
Specifically not fursonas.
Yeah.
Or not furries.
Scaly.
Even though we did a FurryCon.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like that. That's a good idea. It's weird. I've seen people with snake sonas in the furry community, but they usually draw them like with arms still because they still want to make a suit out
That's
of it.
a lizard.
Right?
That's a
I
lizard.
know, right?
That ain't no snake. What?
Yeah.
It's a raptor.
If you're really committed to it and your sona is a snake, then your fursuit better not have arms, and you should just be like in there like this.
Yes.
going
Absolutely
around.
commit fully to it. Otherwise,
Suffer
you're a
for
lizard.
your craft.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, so I think we have a few things to look at here. Again, just for background, at the moment we're at here in the movie, what has just happened is Judy and Nick were together, and they figured out who was behind all the missing mammals. Oh my gosh, it's Mayor Lionheart, right? So they make that bust, and following this, Judy does this press conference where she kind of implies, oh no, it's the predators that are going savage, and we should be fearful of the predators. After this, there's chaos ensues. The city is tearing itself apart. Bad things, protests everywhere. She and Nick had a falling out because of this, and so she's feeling super down. And so she's just been called into the office of the new mayor here, Bellwether, by BOGO here, because they wanted to give her this sort of promotion to make her the face of the police department, but she's not feeling it because she feels responsible for what has happened here. And I think the first thing to reflect on here is just looking at how this film began, the journey that Judy has taken to get to this point, where she started out, the first thing we see, she's there as a kid. She says, I want to make the world a better place. It's what I want to do in life. I want to be a police officer. And now we sort of come full circle to where that's gotten her. So imagine being in this position where you've essentially gotten what you wanted in terms of your career, but not for the reasons and not for the ends that you had hoped for. It's a sad thing.
Can I just say, like, I rewatched Zootopia in prep for this panel.
Good.
And I got almost to the end. I had 20 minutes left, and then I had to catch my flight to come here. But oh my God, Zootopia is such a good movie. Like, what the heck? Like, I loved it the first time I saw it. But rewatching it again, I was just like, this is so good. Like, all of it is so good. The voiceover is fantastic. The script is good. The lessons, everything is really good.
No wonder why our friend AC Racebest watches this movie like every single day.
What?
Yeah.
What? Does he like Zootopia?
Oh, does he? I forgot.
I haven't heard him talk about Zootopia.
Are you sure? Who even is that?
Well, one thing I like that we talked about in the previous minute is, if you guys know, I'm a flag maker and flag historian, so I like seeing flags. And here we get to see two flags within the background. So we already have the pre-established Zootopia flag that we never actually seen the full version of. So you have to imagine what it looks like
Yep, there it is in the background.
based on the little glimpses you see. But then on the other side, I think we have what might be the ZPD flag. It has a police badge, and it looks like it has the words say Zootopia, and not sure what the other words are.
Yeah, well, if someone wanted to purchase a flag representing the...
Come to my booth, I'm in the middle. Another thing I want to point out is we get a lot more of the aesthetics of the city. So we can actually see from the interior, the window is kind of curved from the inside, which we see a lot from the outside. The buildings in the background, once again, look like termite mounds.
It's so gorgeous.
It really is. Look at that high dynamic range in
Yeah.
that shot right there.
Yeah.
And the table specifically looks like it has the Afro modernist style, minimalist style, which I kind of like, with the curves and natural woods.
Jenny Slate is a treasure. I love Jenny Slate so much. She does such a good job with Bellwether.
Yeah, that's a very memorable character for sure. There's that shot we have of the badge as it's being set down on the desk there, and that low pan to it. Again, like I often say camera work in regards to this, and obviously it's not a real camera, right? It's a virtual camera, but we'll still call it that. The cinematography, the camera work in this is just so good.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the contrast we have here. We have Judy literally walking away from everything she ever wanted. There's the badge. That's her career. That's her dream job she wanted. And there she is literally walking out the door away from it. It's very symbolic and very meaningful. We're going to do questions and commentary towards the end, if that's cool.
I guess we could point out once again, we could actually see the text close up now of this flyer, and we could see what looks like the words "how you can help" or "how to help," and it has something.zpd.gov.
Oh, we can't go to the full place because they covered part of it conveniently. Darn. Well, that line that we have as we're leaving on this scene here is Bellwether saying, "It's what you wanted since you were a kid. You can't quit." And then Judy saying, "Thank you for the opportunity."
And this is cool because like it says, you can read on this flyer, "Put your trust," and it's like she doesn't trust herself, like she doesn't trust that she can trust herself, and that's like, oh, it hurts my heart so much.
Yeah, because it says Hop says, "Put your trust."
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's very meta. This is so meta. Oh my gosh. Here we go. So now we transition into the next scene here. The scene here blacks out, changes to Bunnyborough, where Judy is now working as a carrot farmer in her nice pink flannel and jeans here. And here she is rolling up a carrot in a newspaper, just like at a farmer's market. You get your do they give you newspaper for vegetables? I think of that with like fish, right? When you buy fish or meat or something.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the joke they're making.
It's so dirty. Why would you wrap stuff up in newspapers?
And it's moist too. What if it like leaves the ink like imprinted on it like a tattoo?
It just adds character to the taste. What is happening with carrot prices? Carrot prices remain. They remain.
They remain.
You still have to pay for carrots. I'm sorry.
Carrots have not been made free. Sorry about that. Bunnyborough Carrot Days, a whole lot of fun. Can you read that?
Talent show.
Talent show.
Talent show. Pay for carrots and talent show exists.
Historic sign gets new coat of paint. Wait, is that the sign at the end that has like the population counter ticking up at the beginning of the movie?
I guess so. Because we see the two bunny ears kind of popping up.
Right.
So that must be the sign.
That's good.
And then it could be time to get yourself, and looks like an advertisement.
Get yourself a carrot. They exist.
Very cool. All right, there it is, the other side here. And this is something we always like to do on the podcast is anytime there's text, it's always fun to search for puns because they find every opportunity to make all sorts of different animal puns in this movie, and some of them are gorgeous. Some better than others. Bunnyborough Beacon. Oh, there's an as seen on TV ad here. What is that product? Can you read that? It's upside down. I want to know what that says.
Practically does the word for you. Oh, I got a cramp.
The cramp giver. It's effective.
The sun keeps shining on Bunnyborough is the other article. And then we see this one.
Yeah, this is the one underneath as she's picking that one up. And again, really cool cinematography here in that they're giving you narrative in a shot as simple as Judy wrapping up food to give to someone. So they're doing expository work here just in that sense by having that paper underneath here. Growing unrest divides city. We have a picture of many of the protesters that we had seen in one of the previous scenes a few minutes before. Peace Rally Gone Bad by N. Horn is the name of the reporter there. Weekend edition, printed in Zootopia. It looks like it costs $150.
There is the one thing I actually never noticed. We actually see what looks like number 2000. It looks like a date at first. It looks like November 27, and it says 262. So is that the year? Because the way the comma is dividing this number, it looks like it's a year.
C is 100, L is 50, V is 5, and then I is 1. So it'd be 100, volume 157.
But right after it says number.
Oh.
And it looks like a day. It looked like it said November at first.
Cool. All right, so it's been running for a while, at least.
I mean, it looks like if that's the year of Zootopia, that's interesting that it takes place in the equivalent of 262 AD.
Is this the zoo Jesus? Is that like AD and like?
Oh yeah.
AC?
Oh, okay, actually, this is the debate we have every time Furry Jesus comes up on the show. We ask our guests,
which is often. Weirdly enough.
Yeah, actually it is. So we there's already two animals we kind of decided might have been Jesus's fursona, but what animal do you think is Jesus' zoosona?
Oh, I was thinking a lion.
That's one of the more popular ones. It's either lion or lamb.
Yes.
Is what, which again makes sense.
That makes sense.
And then we had one other headline there, which I couldn't see originally because it's behind your guys' heads here. So, thank you. New Mayor Bellwether asks for calm. Cool. That's right.
Just calm
She's new
down.
to this job. Because, again, the person who got in trouble for all the missing mammals was Lionheart. So he's gone. He's out of the picture. This is the new mayor here.
Is this a female deer? Because I want to
Doe?
make a joke and say, that protester, Doe. But I don't know if that
We'll give
works.
you credit for that.
Thank
That's
you.
good.
Validate me.
It looks like all the protesters in this scene, in this picture, are actually hoofed animals. I just realized it. It's deer, antelope, gazelles, horses.
You know, what they should remember is that
Sheep?
what she should be saying here is like, look, while we may be divided, of you all I beg to remember that we're all hooved at the end of each leg. Come on, there's a pony convention. Really?
Is that a pony song?
Yes.
I haven't seen the show since.
A lot of people didn't like that one. That was You Gotta Share, You Gotta Care. It was whichever episode it was where they went to Appaloosa, right? Yeah.
Yes. Okay. No,
For the
I've seen
first
that. I
time.
should have remembered that, but I did not.
I forgot to. We're bad bronies. So
Bad
sorry.
fans. Wow. Okay. Well, the first bit of dialogue we get in this scene here, back in Bunnyboro, is Judy handing off these carrots to a mother rabbit, saying, "A dozen carrots. Have a nice day." Mother rabbit says, "Thanks." And then Judy kind of gives off a long sigh. And this is when her parents, we have this shot of them in the back kind of looking concerned before they approach her here. Here's another wide shot. This is her handing off those carrots. And we have another sign there with a menu or a list of other things available for sale there. Again, I can't read it. It's extremely small.
It's tiny. Yeah.
Can you see that at all?
Looks like it says Hops Family Farm, blueberries, apples, carrots, eggplant, cucumber, some other word, kale, scallions, potatoes, today's specials.
So it's a lot of vegetables. I don't know what I expected. Makes sense.
Cunningham? Is that what that other word is?
I was looking, I thought well, maybe it was cardamom.
It's like
Or like
Champigmon.
Champigmon?
Champigmon. Is that like a Pokemon?
I think it is.
Champagne.
It's a Digimon. Yeah.
Well, we're not farmers, I guess. We failed our class.
I just realized, look how big those apples or whatever they are look compared to the bunnies.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another thing we've noticed. The sense of scale in this movie is not the most consistent thing in the world. Depending on what scene it is, Judy can look either very large or very small. For instance, Judy next to pretty much any other mammals looks absolutely tiny because all the rest of the police officers are things like rhinos and bears and stuff like that. She's this tiny little rabbit. Next to Nick, she's shorter than Nick, but that's not a crazy huge difference. Here, she actually looks like one of the taller characters in the scene, and she might be on like a little riser back there perhaps, but that's something that's interesting. And yeah, I guess a rabbit compared to an actual apple, I would expect the apple could be even bigger.
The apple
maybe.
does look big, but
Yeah.
yeah, it probably should look bigger.
But I think the scene that we've always gone over with that is when they're in Little Rodentia,
But look at the garlic. The garlic looks very small.
I suppose.
I also want to point out, after vending the last 2 days, very tiring, I kind of felt for Judy here. I feel bad for customers when they approach me when I'm very, very tired, but I can understand how Judy's feeling here.
This is con vending,
Yes,
right?
this is con vending right here.
Just like, please don't put your drink on my table.
That's why you get slope tables like this.
At least take a card, please. You've been
please
standing
ask.
in front of my booth for the past half hour.
Can you ask before you take pictures of my stuff, please? Please, thank you.
Thanks.
I'm not a huge fan of vegetables, but these look delicious. Like I'd for sure eat that carrot. Cucumbers are boring to me, but that looks good.
So I'm in the minority, I guess, but I actually kind of, in many cases, prefer raw vegetables to cooked vegetables. Does anyone else feel that way at all about anything? Specific vegetables. Like, I like raw broccoli over cooked broccoli. Carrots, it depends how they're made. I like a nice crunchy raw carrot, you know?
A good crunch.
That satisfying snap,
Yeah.
you know? Bunnies have got it right there. Oh, good. We have another zoomed in view here. This is where Judy sighs. That's the line happening here. And look, I think, is this the first time we've actually seen the marking for the money?
Yep.
Look at that.
Oh.
So I zoomed in on these two specific signs
You
because
zoomed in?
yes.
It's a Z with the. It's like a dollar sign, but it's a Z instead of a.
I think some country actually uses that as their currency sign.
Oh.
Zimbabwe, I want to.
Is that
I think you're right.
Zell's logo? Zell,
Actually,
the thing that you can like send money.
I'm gonna
pretty
look that up
sure-
now.
Yeah, right. Like I'm pretty sure that's Zell's like logo. Because I got
Z
paid the
dollar
other
sign.
day, and that looks very familiar.
Z with stroke is an actual character that exists with the Unicode value of It looks like it's used as currency symbol.
I'll look up Zell while you're looking.
Okay.
It up. We'll all multitask. We're all on our
Was
phones.
sometimes used instead of Z to represent the Zaire. So Democratic Republic of the Congo. There you go. Except it's a Z with a line horizontally through it, not with two lines through the top. So I think this is actually unique to Zootopia, perhaps.
Okay, Zell only has one line through it, and it's not like going all the way through.
But you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, I was close. It's close.
Yeah. Look at that.
You see Zell?
Choco.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, it's just Z, the lines at the top and bottom there.
Like most things in life, I'm almost right.
Okay, let me see. Where did my transcript go?
Those blueberries look so good.
I know. We should have brought blueberries.
We should have. I should have been bribed with those. What are we doing?
Have you had... What's the most expensive guacamole you ever had?
Ooh.
Do they have avocados there too?
No.
I didn't see any.
I was at a con, I think A-Con in San Antonio, and I went to a restaurant that apparently had an $18 guacamole.
$18 guac.
So I was like, okay, I guess I should try this. And the chef came to the table and mixed it up for me. But it was really weird. There was like a lot of cream and cheese in it and orange juice. So it tastes like a creamy, orangey avocado dip. I wouldn't call it guacamole, but
Yeah, I feel like that's something different.
it's $18 guacamole. I'm like, okay, sure.
That's well. I think the most expensive I've had is just like if you go to a restaurant, it's like $10 minimum
But
because they don't expect. I'm just gonna eat it by myself, but they're expecting.
no, same. I do too. No, it's funny because I went to Disneyland. I think a year later, and we went to downtown Disney, and there was also a fancy Mexican place in downtown Disney that had expensive guacamole. So like, okay, let's try its guacamole again, and they made it near exactly the same way. So I guess if you overprice guacamole, it has to include like cream cheese and orange juice for some reason.
Well, this reminds me of something that I was thinking about earlier, because every restaurant you go to, they might have like a classic kind of dish, and then they put their own spin on it. And there's a certain thing where some restaurants take a little too much liberty with how they change it. So like an artisanal guacamole, for instance, that has like plantains in it or something. And so it's like, how many ingredients can you take out of something like guacamole before it's no longer guacamole? You know, it's the dip of Theseus.
Yeah, it's a very good. What's the word? Theoretical question from life. Like this is like if you take off like a part of me and then replace it with another part. How far do we go until I'm no longer myself? Like
Yes.
when does the guacamole become not guacamole anymore?
Because it's like every cell in your body is replaced after 10 years or something, cycled out. Weirdness. You're basically just a pattern that things flow into and flow out of.
Yeah.
Anyway, Zootopia. So we have our next bit of dialogue here as, sorry, her mom's face, right? As they're walking
Speak to the
up
manager.
here.
Excuse me.
Oh my gosh, yeah. This is Karen Hops here. Right, well, first thing we have is Judy's dad saying, "Hey there, Jude. Jude the Dude," remember that one? And that was a nickname that we'd heard at the beginning of the movie there. And then this is the look here. This is when her mom gives him this kind of stern look here. "How are we doing?" And Judy responds, "I'm fine." Her mom then says, "You are not fine. Your ears are droopy." And Choco, you pointed out here earlier before we started.
Her ears are droopy because she's wearing a sun hat. I mean, how else will the ears be looking in this case?
I was
There's no
literally.
holes.
I was about to say the same thing because if her ears were up, there's no holes. Where's it going?
This is my sad hat, okay? This is the hat I wear when I'm sad. But no, she's
I guess
fine.
I also point out the name Judah Dude. I kind of like it because Judy is actually one of the few female cosplays I've seen done by male cosplayers, and they like using the name, "Oh, I'm Judah Dude." It's like, oh, that fits because you're a male
Right,
you're a
yeah, that is
cosplayer,
cute.
so.
I do like that. Yes. So this is her mom responding here, and then Judy says, "Why did I think that I could make a difference?" To which, by the way, the actual names of of her parents here are Stu and Bonnie. That's what the transcript here says. I don't know if that's ever actually mentioned out loud anywhere, but that's what they are apparently here.
I feel like she said stew at some point. The
Oh, I bet at the beginning.
Yeah.
I think you're right. He looks like a stew.
He does look like a stew. Oh, it's stew. They make there's vegetables. You know,
Veggie stew.
Make a stew.
Oh boy.
I just realized something. You could get carrots in the mixed vegetables for 99 cents in Zootopia currency, but then you could get carrots by itself for $1.20. So isn't it cheaper to buy the carrots from the mixed vegetable box?
Well,
Maybe they're B grade veggies.
Yeah, carrot prices remain as we read in the news.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Why
set.
is it
It's
in
fixed.
the 99-cent box?
They remain. We can't change it. We did it once. We made a mistake, and we can't undo it.
Boy.
What am I gonna do? Buy another
Fixed
marker and piece of paper? No, I can't. It's
Just
impossible.
remove the carrots.
Nope, can't do it.
Oh boy. All right. And then I think that's that last shot we have. But before we get quite to there here, Stu responding to Judy saying, why did I think I could make a difference? Because you're a trier, that's why. Bonnie says, you've always been a trier. Then Judy responds, oh, I tried, and I made life so much worse for so many innocent predators. Then we have this van horn sounding and this van here pulling up. And then we have the final line of the whole minute, Stu saying, oh, not all of them though, speak of the devil. And then the minute ends. And that's actually mid-sentence, which happens a lot in this podcast. We don't fudge it at all. Anytime the minute cuts off mid-word, mid-sentence, that's where it is. That's what we analyze up to, and we save the rest for the next minute here. So we have to see what happens next for the next minute. But here we have this final shot that we end up with here. Gideon Grey pulling up in this van here, and it is far flung from the Gideon Grey that we saw at the beginning of this film. Much seems to have changed.
The van has a very anime-esque aesthetic. The kawaii face on the pie.
Yeah, and it's something we totally don't expect from this because the last time we saw Gideon Grey, he was a POS bully. You know?
Yeah, he was a point of sale system for sure.
But
Gideon Grey's.
It's weird that Judy's father said not all of them. Again, was referring to predators as them, and said speak of the devil. So I don't know.
Ooh, is this anti-predator?
Well, I think obviously the parents were kind of represented earlier as more, I guess you could say, the equivalent of conservative, and they were kind of becoming more progressive because their daughter is introducing them to the wider world, but they still have these little carryovers, like they haven't learned the proper terminology,
Yeah.
I think, moving forward.
We're always learning, is the thing, because the world changes and terms change, and we're always just we have to keep absorbing info. And even the line after this, I think it's difficult for me. I don't really cry anymore since I've been on team. It's difficult too, so I don't really cry. Mm-hmm. But something that gets me so close to crying every time is when the mom is talking to her. It's you changed. We opened up a little, and we wouldn't consider that without you. And Judy, the delivery. I forget the actress's name, but who voices Judy. But there's this pause, and she looks really, really genuinely and so sincerely. It's that's really great, you guys. And it's like a hand crushes my heart every time. It's oh.
It's so well written, this movie.
Yeah.
It's very good.
We criticize it minute by minute, but it's so good when you watch it overall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The commentary that we're seeing from this movie is applicable to what's happening in the social situation with America right now.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the text we see on the van here, Gideon Grey's oud baked stuff. I assume that says good, or maybe it's food. I guess it could be either of those. Or wood. Maybe they're wooden pies and things like that. That's a great con story right there. I'll just be quick about this. This is an anecdote that makes me laugh every time. This was at Emerald City Comic-Con. This is a Comic-Con in Seattle. That's where I'm from. And this was the Oni Press late night show panel. They were running it like a fake late night show program, like Conan O'Brien or something like that. And they had different people come on. And one of the guests was this woman that just as a hobby, she was showing this off on the show. She makes fake food. And this is something that's popular in Japan especially, where displays in restaurants will have a plasticine version of the food there as the display so that it doesn't spoil and they can just keep reusing it. Mm-hmm. And she was teaching the audience how to make a fake pie out of spacker and plaster and things like this. And she was telling a story that she once threw a house party, but the thing is she does this as a hobby. So around her house, she has all these fake foods. And she's like, well, I'm having a house party. I had better put these away. Otherwise it could cause some trouble here. So she puts everything away, she thinks. But then what turned out to have happened later, she goes and she finds a fake lemon meringue pie that had been completely sawed in half, the wedge cut out of it. And it was so funny. It made me laugh so hard. It must have been someone that was crazy drunk doing this, right? Because the host then responded, if you go to cut a lemon meringue pie and it's not cutting, wouldn't you stop? Like, a lemon meringue pie of all things is just so soft, right? Yes. Anyway, that's my tangent about wood-baked stuff.
That's good.
Yeah. Fresh, produced from Hop's Family Farm is what I presume that to say there. In a font that Choco earlier said was a font similar to...
It looks kind of like the Baltimore Comic-Con style font. Like, I remember because I made up my own font that looked similar when I was promoting my early version of my con history book, and that just looks like the font I used. So I think that's the minute.
That's pretty much
any
the
other
minute.
opinions you have on that specific minute?
I really like Zootopia.
All right.
Zootopia is a great movie, for sure. And yeah, there's many more minutes to come here.
I guess
other things to
into the
talk about.
Zootopia news.
Yes.
So the Super Bowl just happened. Sadly, my team, the 49ers, lost, but that's all right. You know.
I was rooting for the not 49ers.
I know, he was like rooting
I-
against my team. It was very frustrating.
That's the thing. I wasn't rooting for the Chiefs. I was rooting for the not 49ers specifically.
You were just against the 49ers winning.
Yeah. Exactly.
But I guess this was pointed out many times on Twitter and online. Shakira apparently briefly appeared in her outfit that appeared to be what Gazelle, the character she voices in Zootopia, was wearing.
Shakira's in such good shape. How old is she now?
Look
Like,
at-
oh my goodness.
Something tells me that like her hips
How?
here look particularly honest to me.
I
Like I feel like you could trust them.
Yeah.
Pretty
Very
well
trusting
here.
hips.
You could really see the, I don't know what it's called, the shadow from the hips to the stomach area. You can see it on both Gazelle and
Oh,
Shakira
that's
in this
interesting.
picture.
You're
I
right.
forgot what it's called, that shadow area.
I think it's called the tum-tum.
The tum-tum
Yeah.
shadow?
Yeah,
That's the technical
medical
term.
term is a tum-tum.
Okay, the tum-tum.
You need to make it sound more Latin, like Tummius.
Maximus.
Yes, Tummius Maximus. That's the
Ultimate tummy.
Yeah. Anyway, people had pointed out that like this outfit she was wearing here looks kind of similar to what Gazelle is wearing in Zootopia, and I personally think it's a coincidence. I don't really know that it was planned, although you might like to think so. There's certain differences, right? Like you can see there's not the sort of X-shaped strap thing going on at the top. There's not the baubles, like the things around the waistline.
Or on the wrists.
It could be a coincidence, but I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't, because thinking about the political everything that was going on with her show, you know, Zootopia is very...
She should have just gone all out and wear a Gazelle fursuit.
Honestly,
I
I'm just
know,
saying.
with the horns and everything. I was
Someone-
so hoping she would do Try Everything.
Yeah.
And she
Yeah.
didn't.
That would be the most amazing commission a fursuit maker could ever get. Yeah, Shakira hired me to make her a fursuit for the Super Bowl halftime show.
It's like Ben Diskin, who's the VA for the English voice for Haida.
Haida.
He commissioned a Haida fursuit like eight months before he
from
was even
Mexico,
invited to a furry con, because he knew he would eventually be invited to a furry con, and he wanted to have something ready to go.
Ben is like one of the most genuinely sweet people I've ever met.
Oh, he's so sweet.
He's so nice.
I didn't even know that he was friends with. I became friends with another VA recently, Casey, who is the voice of Shinji in the new Eva dub.
The Netflix dub.
And I was talking about, oh yeah, I gave Ben this some art at Anthrocon, and Casey was like, oh yeah, I was babysitting his dog when he came back with your gay badge and weird furry shirt. So I was like, that's the
Oh, of
best
course.
comment ever.
Another interesting note here about this, during the development of the film, this is a fun little anecdote here. In the initial character designs for Gazelle, Shakira actually had to request that they put more meat on her body, I believe is like the term she used. She's like, too thin, you know, too much skin and bone, and we want some more fullness in the character here. Mm-hmm. And I think they probably fulfilled that request fairly sufficiently.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, but I think most of us do agree it might be a coincidence because they
The outfit,
modeled
yeah.
Gazelle off of Shakira, so they probably already had to go through her wardrobe and see what she would normally wear, and this would probably have been the most
Right,
appropriate.
exactly. It's probably the other way around. Maybe she's worn this outfit before, actually, and maybe they took it direct from it or something. That could be, I suppose. I don't know.
All right. So yeah, here's
More
another
shots of that.
shot of her.
Look at that face on Cassell. That's memeable right there. Caption contest.
Is that one of those beefy tigers dancing behind her?
Oh man, Adam's favorite.
Oh yeah. Our previous guest, Adam from Your Movie Sucks. His favorite characters are the sexy
The
tigers.
sexy tigers.
It's something that gets me laughing every time. Is that app where what's the bigger cat?
Clawhauser.
Clawhauser, yes. Clawhauser, the dancing app where you put the head on is so funny.
We were upset that Disney never made that a real app.
They
that
re-
was
oh
know.
my
perfect
God,
for
yeah.
Missed
promoting the
opportunity.
movie.
That would have been amazing.
Why would you not?
That is a real missed opportunity. Yeah.
So I
very
guess
silly.
speaking of Zoo Sonos, you requested. So I had to ask you what you wanted for this panel, and you specifically requested otter, and you specifically sent me this picture and requested this picture with your glasses, red beanie, and shirtless, and
Yes.
that's what we came up with your otter. So why did you choose otter for your Zoo Sonos?
Oh, it looks wonderful. Just gotta say, I look really excited about that mountain of guac.
Which we'll soon partake in.
Yes. What did I ask for an otter?
Yes.
I guess like I'm friends with a lot of furries, and they love like giving personas, of like what's your personality and all that. And I think I have 5 different groups of friends that don't know each other and didn't talk beforehand, and all of them said otter. All of them said that I am an otter. So that's
It's weird because
see
a
it.
lot of these animals are apparently supposed to have like apparently foxes are bottoms and otters are twinks and deers are this. There's apparently this hierarchy and meaning for each animal. So I don't know, because people were saying that Simul was an otter too.
yeah.
Which I thought was an interesting coincidence.
Why I otter?
Because so Simul and I, we went. He took me to the Seattle Aquarium for my birthday when I came over Forever Free last time. That was really sweet of you. And he took this adorable picture right by this otter.
Actually, you took the
Okay,
picture.
I did. Yeah, I
of
took the
me.
picture of you being adorable by the otter. I had to draw you as an otter, and coincidentally, both your otter sonas look the same. The red beanie, the glasses,
Oh my god.
the
It's pretty
the
similar.
pretty boy hair.
Yeah, we could be brothers.
I don't have the whiskers though.
I know. I didn't put whiskers on you. Well, you didn't have your beard back then.
Yeah, I got my mustache going.
Yeah, you
so
did. Once it's going, but you're clean. You're clean shaven
Okay,
back then.
okay, go back to the picture, like the actual photo of me though, because like, look, what I'm doing here actually is there's the picture of the otter on there. I'm just trying to mimic that picture of an otter. So we
I
have
just
a pic-
noticed that. Yeah.
We have a picture based on me mimicking another photo of an otter. But I'm doing like a happy, like, squee kind of a thing. I feel like you drew me with bedroom eyes, and I don't know about that.
Okay.
That's what it looks like.
You love your bedroom eyes very much. I know
really-
you love bedroom eyes.
Okay.
Okay.
No one will understand.
Yeah,
the
we have a
context
lot of
what
weird
it is.
inside jokes no one's ever gonna get. Sorry. I guess in other news, Beastars just came out. New Japanese anime, and a lot of people were comparing it to Zootopia because it's a murder mystery starring a predator who's dating a bun. So, who
Like
here's-
my Nick and Judy fan fictions.
yeah. Who here has seen Beastars yet? All right, so we have about 5 people in the crowd seen Beastars. I have not seen it yet. Looks cute though. But what's with Japanese anime shifting to furry mode? Like we have the Gressico, we have Beastars, we have like a ton of other ones I've been seeing
It's
lately.
just becoming mainstream, I think.
Furries.
It's time.
Furries are taking over.
Yeah.
It's time.
So just curious, are you a furry?
No. But I mean, like, it depends. What is the definition of furry? If it's someone that just likes seeing myself drawn as an animal, that's cool. I like that.
That's a whole nother 20
Yeah.
podcasts
Yeah.
worth of unpacking to do.
What
on
is a
that
furry?
question.
Join us for episode 1 of What is a Furry.
What is a furry? Have you been to any furry cons? Just curious.
No, I dated a furry for a year, so I know I'm exposed to the world, but I've not been to like a proper con. I would love to like guest at a furry con though, because like I have a big furry,
Have you done any
following.
voice roles for furry animations yet?
No, but because of vinyl, I have a big furry following.
Sure.
So if hello furry cons, invite me. I'll talk on your panels and stuff.
You're probably the same as me, where like I would describe myself as furry adjacent,
Yeah.
but not actually a furry.
Sure. Yeah. That's a good
So
word.
you said you dated a furry, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just curious because normally when furries date, they always get their personas drawn with each other, all cutesy and cuddly. Were you an otter back then, or did they actually draw your fursona?
They
in that
did.
case?
Yeah, they drew my otter.
So it was
a
an
bunch of
otter.
times.
Okay, so you actually had your otter drawn before.
Yeah.
All right.
I think they were the first.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I think. So, have you ever actually been to the Disney parks, and have you seen the Zootopia mascots there?
Oh, I've been to Disney, but I haven't seen any Zootopia characters walking around.
It's weird. You'd think there would be more of them. We've talked about that before. Like, there's not even all that much of the Zootopia merch that you can get at the parks.
Yeah.
And stuff. It's a lot less than you might think.
Aw. That sucks.
Yeah, there should be more of it. Well, that's basically the end of the discussion portion here. I think earlier I saw like at least one hand go up. Would you guys be interested in like Q&A or just more discussion things?
We'll be doing. I
to
guess.
do?
Let's take Q&A as we start eating this delicious guacamole. So you were wanting to. We were wanting to make a guacamole panel, and since we couldn't squeeze one on the schedule last minute, I decided to bring 3 different selections of guacamole to this panel so we could try. So first we have...
Try everything.
Yes.
Hey.
First we have guacamole from a local Mexican chain called Torchy's Tacos.
Yeah, it's pretty
Then
good.
we have Holy Guacamole, a name brand guacamole, chunky. And we have...
What did you do?
I didn't do anything. And then we have some smooth guacamole. I think it's the store brand. So we'll try these.
Smooth by Santana featuring Rob Thomas of Matchbox.
Yes. And in the meantime, I think we'll do some questions and discussion here. So just go ahead and raise your hand and
You know,
we'll
is it
play out.
Matchbox
Yeah.
20 or Matchbox 40?
Alright, so something I noticed, that I don't know if you guys noticed or just glossed over anything. Back in the scene with the Judy handing over the badge, one of the things I noticed as a nice little subtle design choice was the central circle around the star had some words on it. The one word that you could see clearly that was being focused on subtly was the word integrity. And I find it interesting that during that scene, Judy was showing her integrity.
Is that in the screenshot?
Yeah, it is.
Go back to that for a minute. Yeah, let's look at that. You're right. See, that's something we missed here. This is why it's good to have an audience. Again, it's so meta. Integrity. Look at that.
Yeah. So to put it together with the put your trust in whatever, she's putting her trust in integrity. She knows she's doing the right thing, even though it means turning her back on her career or her dream, and to show that, this is the right path. This is the path where integrity, honesty, and where everyone should be going. It's not necessarily a popular one, but it's the correct one.
Yeah. Does it count as symbolism if it's literally spelled out? Is that like in
All right, we have
actual
another
words?
question over there.
That's a good eye. Thanks for pointing that out.
If you go to the screenshot with the news article, question for you, next one, the picture, next one, that. Are those the 2 henchman goats or just random goats?
Cheap, right? Cheap.
I don't know. I think we've seen a few of them.
Because it seems like what peaceful rally breaks out in not peaceful rally, and Mayor Bellwether's goats if they were there.
Oh, I see what you're getting
Like
at.
their plants.
I see what you're getting
Picture
at.
of
Yeah.
the unrest happening,
That's
did
true.
Bellwether be gonna cause ruckus at the rally, at the peace rally?
I like that. That is a future minute, and
Exactly like
yeah, we try not to get too much into what's going to happen in the future of the movie, but that is a very good point as well. I like that. Interesting. See, this is again, it's great that people can point this stuff out when we miss it. Yeah.
All right, I have a question. I want to revisit the scene where Judy's selling the carrots, sadly, and we're talking about how her mom notices she has droopy ears. She's had droopy ears through this whole minute. Is she wearing the hat to try to disguise the fact that she's feeling sad?
Oh.
So it looks like she has a reason for her ears to be down, but her mom knows her well and knows that her ears are just droopy. Could that be what's going on here?
I love that. I love that read on it because it's kind of like in high school where I wore hoodies all the time because I hated my body. You're just trying to
Then again,
disguise.
This mom bunny, her ears are droopy. So is there different kinds of droopy? Like maybe relaxed droopy, defeated, sad droopy?
That mom's depressed.
I suppose bunnies would probably be able to read these ear expressions.
Right.
They're both sad.
Yeah, they're both.
They're just very tuned into the body language.
This mom buying the carrots got sad because she realized that she could have gotten cheaper if she didn't get them mixed
Yeah.
vegetables, which is
If only
understandable.
if only the price of carrots hadn't remained.
She got the scallions.
Did she pay the too much price?
Maybe she did.
Hate to see it. One of my favorite BoJack quotes is when Flip says, "The darkness is a metaphor for darkness," and I love that when I go too far into analyzing things, I just hear Flip say that in my head.
That's another good,
Another great show.
animal show that just ended.
BoJack is one of
F
my
in the
favorite
chat,
shows ever.
boys.
It is like my favorite TV show up to that point in time was Moro Oro. It was also a similarly depressing show, and I did not think another show could be similar, but BoJack occurred, and what a fantastic wrap-up.
Sorry, go ahead.
Both BoJack and Pony wrapped up. Again, two
I know.
animated pony
Why is my
shows
life?
ended.
Why are my emotions being played with by 2 shows about horses now? Like, this is
So
ridiculous.
sad.
Yeah. BoJack is one of those shows where I'm like, I have no idea how this got made, but I'm really excited about it because I've been
glad
listening.
it did.
I'm glad that it ended with on its own accord. You know.
Yes.
I mean, like Netflix was like, hey, we don't want any more, but they got the chance to give it a proper ending, and the ending's perfect in my opinion. But that's another thing.
Oh yeah.
Watch BoJack if you haven't.
Watch BoJack. It's
good.
great.
It's a trip though. Like, be prepared to cry.
It goes into some dark subjects.
That's the weird thing about describing it, because I have friends that are like, I don't understand why you're into it. It's so sad, and I'm like, yeah. You're like, shows
The
don't always
sadness is a
have to
metaphor
make
for sadness.
Yes, exactly. And it's not like I feel like there's a focus on like, oh, TV is supposed to distract you. It's supposed to make you feel good. But I feel like now, especially with streaming, because what streaming did is it made it so that you no longer have to create shows that have wide mass appeal. So you end up with all these shows that end up in these very niche kind of markets where everyone has something that works just for them and speaks to them really well. And I think BoJack is one of those examples, because I have a lot of friends that are weirded out by it and they don't understand it, and it's just like, okay, fine, but like that's something that streaming has brought us that I don't think would be really possible without it. So
and it's also really
perfect for
good.
Netflix.
It helps you not feel alone, you know, because like you see someone going through something that maybe you were going through, or like thoughts. You know, the scene where BoJack. Where Hollyhock first gets there, and BoJack keeps going, "You stupid idiot, you idiot!" Like he's talking really bad to himself. That's just like I got that all the time.
Oh yeah, I do that a lot, and sometimes those stupid idiot thoughts I actually sound them out.
Yeah.
When I don't know it, like, oh God, I just did something dumb, and I actually sound it out. So
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for joining us for the BoJack Minute.
This is the BoJack Minute. But yeah, one last thing I will say on the subject was like how did it get made? Because BoJack ended, I've been like getting into like interviews and stuff with the cast, and one of the things that one of the artists was talking about was like the guy pitched her friend pitched the show to her, and it was like just like the show about like this depressive horse, and she's like, this sounds sad, like I don't know if anyone's gonna buy it, and no one did at first, so like it's crazy that it got made.
like the first season, a lot of reviewers only saw the first 6 episodes before the heavy stuff happened, and they gave it bad reviews initially. So if you look at BoJack season 1, it has a 63% on Rotten Tomatoes. And most reviewers said if we saw the entire season, we would have given this an A+.
Yeah. At least they admitted that.
Yeah. All right.
Which is fair about like My Little Pony as well, like in my opinion, because I some people were able to latch on it very quickly, but for me, it took 5 or 6 episodes for me to like get into it.
Some good shows, yeah. Like the predecessor to BoJack, Moro Oro, like the heavy stuff doesn't even come till like the middle of season 2, and you really don't see it. But once it hits, all the previous things that came before make perfect sense. So shows like that are a rarity, and I really want to see more like that.
Any other questions or comments? Yeah.
You don't have to go back to it, but on the newspaper header, again, I just happen to know that those numbers up there, the volume refers to how many years the newspaper has been in circulation. And then the number beside it is supposed to be the issue number, which is how many has been published within that year. But that doesn't really make sense for here because that's a lot more than
Right.
165.
Maybe it's a number with significance to the studio, like how there's that A113 or whatever hidden in like a bunch of Pixar movies because it's a classroom at CalArts. Yeah. Maybe it has some special significance to whoever designed that specific newspaper. That number has some special meaning to them or something. Who knows?
But it's not a date.
Right.
All right.
Or maybe I don't know.
I think it's time.
And you had your hand up initially, right? Did you have something you wanted to?
I did have my hand up initially, but Nowacking actually brought up the. It was about the flyer, the Texan flyers.
Okay. Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. You sold me out. But I do have some extra information on the B-Stars. I'm assuming that it has been just released in English. I guess on Netflix.
One moment. Hey guys in the back, would you mind just stepping out of the room because we're having some trouble hearing up here.
So,
Or not.
anyway,
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but I was lucky enough to see the complete first season in Japanese, and it is very, very similar to the situation, the entire whole situation in Zootopia, to whereas you have predators and prey trying to coexist without having to fall back, be sentient enough not to fall back to basic instincts, to where it's like
You have it on autoplay. Okay. That's what's going on.
All right.
The main protagonist, the wolf known as Lugosi, whose name was based off Bela Lugosi.
Bela Lugosi from Dracula.
Yeah, Dracula, exactly. His main thing is he has never been aggressive for the majority of all of his life. So his urge to fall into a violent, ruthless instinct is a battle, everyday battle. So when he meets the rabbit Haru in school that he goes to school with, he kind of finds out about her because she's kind of known as being rather promiscuous throughout the school with almost anybody and everybody. But of course, that could be just a rumor. No spoilers. So when he finally sees her, he almost kills her initially, but he resisted and he wants to protect her. And in doing that, he ends up falling in love with her, and he's trying to just talk to her. He's a very, very shy wolf. And yeah, and that story revolves through all of that. And yeah, there is a murder, and they're trying to find out who does it.
Interesting.
Oh, cool. That sounds
It's
dope.
a very, very good show.
Cool.
All right.
I'll have to check it out.
I guess, have you tried all the guacamole yet?
Oh yeah, are we doing the review on this?
Which ones do you like so far?
I tried that one. I liked it.
Okay, try the other two.
But also, I'm a quarter Mexican, and I'm
Okay.
a terrible Mexican because
Okay.
I can't tell the difference. I'm
Okay.
just like, I mean, I eat Taco Bell, and I'm like, this is fine. Like, I don't have any connection.
You like Taco Bell, but it's because of the Baja Blast. If it wasn't for the Baja Blast, I wouldn't be going to Taco Bell. I'm gonna be honest.
I'm a more traditional Mountain Dew, bud.
Baja Blast is the nectar of the gods. It's amazing.
I'll use it in conversation. I'll be like, let's Baja blast ourselves over to the next panel or something. So it's part of my vocabulary. It's a lexicon of mine. But am I using that word correctly?
Lexicon means like inventory of words.
Yeah.
So,
Is it?
Yeah, sure.
Would I say it's a lexicon of mine, or it's in my
It's
lexicon?
in your lexicon, is what it is.
I'm an English major. I should know this.
So I guess before we wrap up, any projects or any news
Anything
you want
you
to
wanna
plug?
plug?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I never know what I'm doing at any point in my life.
Any other cons you're going to be at?
Yeah. The trouble with talking about cons is I'm like, which ones am I announced for? Like, I don't know.
I think we're both coming guests at Babs coming up.
Yeah,
So we'll
okay.
both be there.
I'll be at Babs. I'm going to Galacon.
Nice. Germany.
Yeah, it's dope. I'm going to Paris for a few days before that because like, why not? Like I try to take advantage of like if someone's flying me out for a con, can
Might
I
as well.
do things near it? So that's exciting. What am I doing? What have I done recently? I just edited something, a really big project for the YouTuber Jax Films, and that's gonna be up at some point. He's going through the final last edits of my edits. But I don't know if I want to say what it is. Just look on Jack's Films channel. I'll be tweeting it. But I've been working on that since October, so that was like my life for a while. I do a YouTube series called Pink Blue. It's about queer stuff. So you should go watch that if you're interested in that. Valentine's Day special part 3. It comes out on my YouTube channel on Valentine's Day. which I'm very excited about. I had it edited early. My early bird patrons have it, so they've been able to see it. But I'm finally back to editing stuff consistently on my channel, which is great.
Perfect.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for joining us. So let's everyone give a round of applause for Nowacking for joining us. Thanks so much for coming.
Yeah. Thank you for having me, and thank you for the guacamole.
Yes, no problem. All right, are you going to be able to play it correctly this time?
Yes, let's
Is
do
it
it.
going to work out? All right. Well, that's basically it for the podcast. We just want to thank all you guys for joining us. That's going to do it for this episode of Zootopia Minute. If you did enjoy the podcast, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. This Zootopia Minute is where you'll find it. You can also add us on Twitter. Follow us there at Zootopia Minute. You can like us on Facebook under that same name as well. And if you have any thoughts about the show, what you liked, what you didn't like, anything you want to share with us at all, you can always send those to zootopiaminute@gmail.com. And with that, we will see you in the next minute. Enjoy the rest of the con!
And come up with some guacamole.